Hey, Todd Burrier from toddburrier.com. Do you ever struggle with disappointment? Do you ever struggle with disappointment with the people you work with yourself, right? With your organization, with your level of success? That's because you're not properly managing expectations. That's the primary issue. If you think about expectations, right? You cannot have disappointment without a corresponding expectation. If you don't have an expectation, you can't have disappointment. And so if you think about your relationships, right? We all have challenges sometimes in our important relationships. Where does that come from? We had an expectation that was unmet. Typical. I mean, simple, right? So it's huge in your business. I'm going to give you really 5 tips today that will help you dramatically to manage expectations. It's important to manage expectations because you have to, as businesses, it requires emotional energy. Anything really that you're trying to build requires emotional energy, but it's particularly true in building a home business and a network marketing, direct sales, referral marketing business. So number one is don't focus on results. I know you're going to anyway, but I'm going to help you get some clarity on this. Don't focus on daily results. Should you look at your results? Of course you should. There's no other way to understand the progress that you're making. There's no other way to make adjustments or changes that are necessary to get where you're trying to go. But day to day, you do not look at your results. Right? You only look at your activity. Focus on your activity. Focus on the process, not on the result, because you cannot be accountable to the day-to-day result. You can't be accountable if someone decides to enroll today. You're not accountable for that. That is the other person's decision, right? You're accountable for making that choice available, for sharing your story, for helping them understand, but it's their decision, so you don't control that decision. And yeah, I know some of you are like super salespeople, like, oh, I can control that. I got a great closing technique. Good for you. Good for you. That's great. But that's not the normal person, right? And actually, a lot of people don't like that. And so you want to build a long-term business where you have people who always want to do business with you. You don't pressure them, right? It doesn't mean you don't ask them a question. Are they ready to get started? It's just you don't pressure them. And so I diverted for a second, but that was valuable. Don't focus on the result. Only focus on the activity. Expect yourself to do the activity and do it. And if you disappoint yourself, look in the mirror and go, okay, no more. What's holding me back? Now you got a deeper assessment to do. Number 2 is don't compare yourself to others. I see this so many times, and it is so unfortunate, right? First of all, on social media, what do people put? They're flipping highlight reel, right? Oh, look at me. I'm super duper. I got to drive this super car. I mean, who gives a crap about that stuff? Seriously, they don't tell you what they went through. They show you the shiny them now, like, hey, you could be like this. Yeah, you can if you'll go through all the years of struggle, which is what you should do. But you can't compare yourself to anyone else. And the reason, even taking out the social media highlight reels that you see, from a true perspective, how can you possibly compare yourself to someone else? You don't know their true story. You don't know what they're doing. You don't know what their background is. You don't know their experiences. You don't know their skills, their contacts. You don't know that stuff. And often you're not told the truth. You're told some version of it. I got started in 6 months. I was making blah, blah, blah. Right? And you're like, wow, what's wrong with me? Well, you didn't have the 12 years of experience they had coming into it. You didn't move a group. There's all kinds of stuff, right? So the real bottom line is your journey is your journey. Your path is your path. Keep your eyes on your path and the people you're serving and impacting. And forget the garbage out there. Do not compare yourself to other people. That is a waste of your time, and it will rob you of precious energy that you can put into other people. Number 3, expect it to take time to be good. That's just the truth. You're going to go through a learning curve. And I don't care where you are in your product. You might have already become relatively successful in your business. You still got stuff to learn. And if you don't think you do, you better check your heart. Because you got you got something coming and you ain't going to like it, right? Because we all are learning every day. One of the questions we should ask ourselves every day is, what will I learn today? What will I learn today, right? So you've got to expect it to take time for you to get good. You can't get good until you've been bad. You got to be awful at prospecting before you get good at it. You got to be awful at working in social media before you get good at it. Now, hopefully you don't torture yourself doing it, but you have to be awful before you get average, and you got to be average before you get good, and you got to be good before you get really good, and you got to be really good before you get tremendous. I mean, that's just the path. Nobody gets to skip that. All right, so expect it to take you some time, right? Expect that. So that, what does that mean? Forgive yourself when you say the wrong thing, right? Quit worrying about perfection. You're not going to be perfect. Even when you're awesome, you're not going to be perfect, right? I screw stuff up all the time. I mean, I've been doing this 29 years, right? So it's normal. You got to expect it. All right, number 4. Don't expect anyone else to build it for you, right? I don't care what stories you hear. This is not the lottery. This is a real business. And the beautiful thing about the process that I teach is I don't care who you are, you can succeed doing it, right? You treat people right. You work the numbers the proper way. You consistently share your story. Anybody can do what I teach, right? So, but don't expect someone to do it for you. Don't say, geez, once I sponsor this person, that's it. It's over. Game on, touchdown. That's not how it works, right? And by the bottom line, you'll set yourself up for a lot of disappointment. So here's a philosophy for you. Believe in everyone, but expect nothing. Believe in everyone, but expect nothing. Because that's going to be the truth. You're going to have people that say they're going to do it and they're not going to do it. You're going to have people that say they're going to do it and start to do it and stop doing it. You're going to have people that say they're going to do it and they start to do it and they start to do it and they keep doing it and they keep doing it, then they stop doing it. You're going to have all kinds of stuff. And then you got somebody out of left field who never even saw it, goes, meow. And you're like, what was that? What was that? Whoa, that was Mary. She was crushing it, right? You just don't know. Do it yourself. Do it. The right people will show up. That's what will happen. But don't expect anyone to do it for you. It's pretty cool that any moment you open your mouth, something cool could happen, but don't expect it, all right? And then number 5, expect to struggle. Sorry. Nothing of value in this life happens without struggle. Nothing. And when it does, and you see examples all over the place, lottery winners who broke in 5 years, athletes who get a big contract and self-destruct, when something comes too fast, it's bad news, because then people aren't ready for that, right? They haven't grown to be the person who can handle it. And you know what? I hope you have super duper fast success. I hope you do. But you probably won't. You probably won't. You're probably going to struggle a lot. I know I did. Hey, I find ways to struggle all the time. I'm never going to stop because I'm always trying to be better, right? So expect to struggle, embrace it. It's part of the journey, right? It's how your day was doesn't mean you're failing or succeeding. It just means it was part of the journey, right? As long as you continue to go on the journey, then your day was part of your success. I mean, that's just a fact. And so expect to struggle, because nothing of value is easy, and what you're building is of tremendous value. So I hope you got value out of this. Feel free to share it with others. If you haven't gotten my 27 scripts that really, I mean, they make a huge difference for you in how you talk to people, make sure you go to toddberry.com and get your free download. It's an MP3 and it'll really, really help you out. All right. Hey, see you next time.